Hello fifth graders and Happy New Year! Today we're going to try some botanical drawing. For your drawing, you'll either need to be outside or inside looking out the window, or maybe looking at a plant that you have indoors. And what you want to do is draw the entire tree or plant on your piece of paper. We're also going to do some close-ups and some circles. And we're going to make a detailed scientific drawing of our tree or plant. The materials you'll need are one piece of paper, Xerox paper is fine, a pencil and a good eraser, and a small cup or a circle to trace around, and then something interesting, some interesting type of plant to draw. So let's get started. I brought out two glasses here because one of them is a little bigger around and wider than the other one. So you can either make your circles the same size. I'm going to make a bigger one and a smaller one here. I'm going to put my bigger one near the bottom. There's one. And I'm going to put my smaller one somewhere up here near the top. They're the same size, that's fine too. Now I've got two circles. I also want to draw like a rectangular square. I'm going to put that down here near the bottom. And in that square, I'm just going to draw it on. If you need to trace something, you could find a small rectangular square to trace, but I can draw a small square there. And that is for writing in later on at the end. These two circles are for my close-up views of something, kind of like a magnifying glass, where I'm going to look very carefully at one part of my, in my case, my tree. I'm going to try to draw this tree over here. And look with the camera, I have a tree with a parrot in it. That parrot isn't real. I painted it for fun. But this is a magnolia tree. And it's the perfect time of year for drawing trees. A lot of trees have lost their leaves, and that makes them easier to draw. So on this piece of paper, behind what we drew, our circles and our square, you want to draw a lot of your tree or your plant. You don't have to draw every single bit of it, but a lot of it, showing all the parts of it. So in this case, I'm going to start with the trunk down near the bottom. And one thing you should know about trees is that they are often just a little bit wider. This is a young tree, so it doesn't have like a much wider base to the trunk, but it is a little tiny bit wider. So if you make one line going up, make your other line follow. Now, if you're going to start, and let's see, this main trunk comes up even higher up here. But I'm drawing kind of lightly because I see a branch right here and it's going to plug into the trunk. So you actually want to make it plug in and then move off in the direction that it's going. So it's plugged into my trunk. It moves up and it's quite long, but as it goes out towards the top, it's going to get skinnier and skinnier and narrower and very close together until at the very end it would form a point. Can't quite reach the end of the point on the paper for that one, but I do see lots of things coming off behind it. And those are the smaller branches, and at the end of them, some of them have little buds on them. But you see how they would be bigger here and come down to a point there. If you look closely at how trees grow, you'll see that all of them follow pretty much. There might be some small variations here and there, but they're biggest where they connect onto your branch and they get pointing small at the end, and then they grow a leaf or a bud. This is a bud. It's going to turn into a flower later on in the spring when it warms up after all the rains. and that's going to be really nice. This is a very complex tree. It's going to take me a while to sit and look carefully and draw the whole thing. As my more major branches move and twist around, I want to draw them in sections and actually plug one section into another, like that. And remember, here's one that comes out this way. Remember that they are widest here. This one's kind of cut off, and then it sharply turns that way. It has a little piece like that, and comes up and like that, and it's got two very skinny parts that come off the edge, like that, and they have a bud on the end. And so I'm going to have to look carefully and closely and draw each and every part of my tree. And I could do this, it would take me a long time. Let's draw the branch that has the bird on it. Okay, here's the branch part. It comes from the back of the tree, so I don't see it plug in. Here's the bird facing this way. Let's put our bird on here. Sometimes people come and they see the bird in my tree and they think it's real, and then they're very surprised that there's a parrot in the tree. And I've seen people stop and take photos. That always makes me laugh. I like that because I fooled them a little bit, right? Make them think it's a real bird, but it's not. Okay, so there's my bird, but I'm more interested in my tree and the directions that the branches are going to take. So I'm going to have to look. This splits up here. It comes up. So I would continue on like this, drawing more and more and more branches. Now, what to do in these circles? Well, this is where I'm going to get really close to my tree, because I want to look at it really close up. And I'm going to look up into one of these buds here. They're very furry. They're shaped kind of like what you would think a flame would be shaped like, or the end of a flame on a candle almost. And I see down below also little parts where they opened up. They opened up like that to come and grow out of. And then they're right on the branch like that. And they're furry too, so I have to make them look furry. And so in detail, I would want to draw the whole bud there. And maybe a second one. There's some that are smaller, that are shaped more like that. I can see one behind it also furry. They look soft. And I want to show everything I can show about the way the buds look close up. Now I don't have any leaves on here, so I could do one of two things in this other circle. I could show the bark close up, or I do have some dried up leaves down here on the bottom. Like I know this one came off the tree. So I could show a leaf close up. Leaf's really big, right? So I'm going to pretend I'm looking through a magnifying glass at what that leaf looks like and the veins on it and how they come out and what the edges are like that. Okay, I'll show you a finished version of a botanical drawing in a moment. But what about this square? What can I do in this square? Well, I told you the square was for writing, and I know what kind of tree this is. This is a magnolia tree. So in the square, I'm just going to write that. If you don't know what kind of tree or plant you are drawing, that's fine. Just describe it. Maybe say something like plant on my table or tree in my neighbor's yard or whatever if you don't know what it is. And then you can sign your name by Ms. Mary and the date. So this is today, January 3rd, 2021. I have to get used to writing that. Now, let me show you a more completed picture. So here's one I did of my lemon tree. Not actually finished, but farther along. And on this one, I decided to color in the close-ups in my circles. So I had a lemon and a flower on it. So if you want to color it, you can do that. You could color all of it or just a part of it like this. I'm going to show you some others just so you get an idea. This one is part of a rose bush that was drawn by my daughter, and she did just one branch showing how the leaves came off. The leaves grow on that, and one leaf and a close-up of the rose. And so that's pretty good because we can really see how that rose would grow. So I want you to find an interesting tree or plant and try it yourself. And if your drawing comes out really well and you want to, you could send me your drawing and I would be happy to see it and to comment for you and talk about it with you. So if you want to do that, you can send an email to mernst, E-R-N-S-T, at ausdk12.org, and I will respond. I hope you're all having a happy new year, and I hope I see you soon. Bye-bye.